Mr. WrestleMania is dead, but long live Mr. Stand and Deliver. Welcome back, guys, for another NXT review for the 21st of February 2023. If WWE Raw and WWE SmackDown are on the road to WrestleMania, then I guess it is fair to say that NXT is on the road to Stand and Deliver. And that's what Grayson Wwe is calling himself. He's calling himself Mr. Stand and Deliver. Not quite as good as Mr. WrestleMania. I don't think anybody would argue Stand and Deliver feels more important than WrestleMania. But I like what he's going for. I get what he's going for. And speaking of standing and delivering, can Braun Breaker do that tonight when he defends the NXT Championship against Jinder Mahal? We'll find out in this review. But a fun fact, it's been well over a decade, I believe, since Jinder Mahal last challenged for the NXT Championship. So I wasn't even aware that he did, but apparently back in the very early days of NXT, he was one of Seth Rollins' first challengers. So yeah, he's going to get another opportunity to challenge tonight. But we kick off the show with Ilya Dragunov versus Trick Williams. Dragunov wins. I don't like Dragunov. The guy comes out pretending he's playing like his classical violin. He does his violin hand-shaped movements. That to me is not star material. That's never going to be great. If Austin came out and never drunk beer and never caused mayhem and never stunned McMahon and never bloody gave middle fingers, if Austin came out and pretended he was playing a violin, would Austin have been great? I don't think so. Is this Ilya Dragunov going to be great? I don't think so. Now, a lot of people like him because he is a strong style wrestler or whatever, and he pretends to play a musical instrument. But for me, that's not a good enough reason to like the guy. I do like Trick Williams, but at this stage, he's just a sidekick to Carmelo Hayes, and there's nothing wrong with that because the two of them together are entertaining. But I just don't think Trick Williams is ever going to go anywhere. They could have tried to treat him a bit more serious. They could have had him be, I don't know, Diesel to Carmelo's Michaels, but no, he just feels like a big bum. He doesn't feel like he's the big enforcer, he's the big guy that's going to help Carmelo Hayes. He kind of feels more like a liability, if anything. You never really feel like Trick Williams is going to beat anybody, and if Trick teams up with Carmelo Hayes, you always kind of feel like Trick Williams is just there to, take the pinfall and, I don't know, just be a hindrance. So I like Trick Williams. I wish he was portrayed better than he is, but he's not, so whatever. Ilya Dragunov wins. Do I really care? I do not. JD McDonough was on commentary. I guess they're going to do Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough again. Do I want to see that again? No, I definitely do not. We got a promo from Jinder Mahal. Jinder says the title on Braun's waist is getting heavier, the boos are getting louder. No, I think that's just 3MB mate getting booed. But he goes on to say that there's going to be a lot of shocked faces tonight in the crowd when he wins and becomes the NXT champion. Is he telling the truth? I don't think so, but we'll find out later on tonight. We see NXT Women's Champion Fallon Henley. She leaves a voicemail for Brooks Jensen apologising for ruining his Valentine's Day. And then she goes to visit her partner, Kiana James. Kiana James accepts her apology, says that everybody makes mistakes, we're all human, and she doesn't blame her for being jealous. Fallon Henley is like, I'm not jealous. They bicker a little bit, and then it looks like they put everything behind them. So, I mean, it is a pretty interesting story. I don't know if we're really supposed to believe that this guy, Brooks Jensen, who's 23 years old, he's never kissed anybody. I don't know if we're actually supposed to believe that, but it is kind of entertaining. He wasn't here tonight, so we'll see what happens with that in the future. I think we all know Kiana James is up to no good, so we'll see what the payoff is. I'm sure as soon as they lose those tag team titles, Kiana James I was going to say how I take the heel turn. I guess she's kind of already a heel, but I'm sure that's when we'll find out what her plan is. Her plan probably is just to pretend that she likes them so she can have some gold. I don't know. Anyway, we then see Roxanne Perez. She goes to Mikio Satomura, Asian grandma. She goes to her training camp. She trains with her. And the moral of the story here is that nobody else can live up to this Miko Sakamura's training apart from Roxanne Perez. All the other women leave. And then Miko says, you don't win fights with strength, you win it with your heart. So 2 weeks time, we're getting Roxanne Perez versus Miko Satomura. Who cares? What do we get after this? We got Tyler Bate. He came out, grabbed the mic, said he's not afraid of the schism. I tell you what, I am afraid of the schism. Every time they come on my TV screen, I get afraid because they fucking suck, man. This group is terrible. Now, I don't know if they're trying to rip off the Judgment Day or they're trying to be like NXT version of the Judgment Day, but all four of them absolutely suck, including The Rock's daughter. Just, I mean, she doesn't even look like The Rock. Maybe if they drew an eyebrow on her, she would be better. I don't know, but just being The Rock's daughter isn't enough, you know. Your dad can be great. Your brother can be great. Your grandfather can be great. It doesn't mean you're going to be great. And unfortunately, that's what it is with this Ava Raine chick, you know. She's just not great. She just happened to, you know, be The Rock's daughter. It's as simple as that, really. So she needs to know her role, probably get back to the kitchen and leave the wrestling business. As for Rick Fowler and Jagger Reed, those two, take them to the kitchen and throw them in the bin as well. They both fucking suck. I don't really mind Joe Gacy, but it's been the same crap now for a long time. So whatever, the Schism come out. They go to beat up Tyler Bate. 4 Roots, 1 Tree, all that garbage. And then Chase U and Adversity come out, they make the save. Chase U have a match against the Diads. The Diads win because Andrew Chase is too busy protecting Fia Hall instead of helping his own teammates. So I guess they're going to break up Chase U. Duke Hudson is going to sooner or later just explode and have enough of losing. So yeah, he's going to attack Andrew Chase. But I mean, overall, it was just a boring match. I mean, the show up to this point wasn't very good. We then, what do we get next? We then see Mr. Stone and Fawn Fagner entering the arena. Fawn asks Tony D if he wants a match, and he ends up getting a match tonight with Tony D. So it's going to be Tony D versus Fawn Fagner. I don't really get why they keep doing these. They keep putting Tony D with big guys, whether it be Fawn Fagner or whether it be what's the other guy called, the big fucking guy that I like. I can't remember his name. The guy that wants justice, the Punisher looking guy. But I don't know why they keep having Tony D face these big guys when the big guy combination just doesn't really work. We see Mackenzie Mitchell interviewing Drew Gulak. Drew Gulak says that to be good, you need to be don't need to worry about hurting people. You need to hurt people, essentially. And he says that Hank Walker isn't capable of doing that. He wants someone that's willing to break bones, and apparently that is Charlie Dempsey. So it's going to be Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak teaming up with each other. They both are boring as hell, so maybe they can call the tag team the Boring Ones or something like that, or the Boring Bones instead of the Broken Bones. Maybe they can be the Boring Bones. Maybe they don't break bones, maybe they just bore bones to death, and then the bones just turn to dust because they've been fucking so bored of watching these two. Maybe that's what the tag team gimmick's going to be. Either way, I don't like Charlie Dempsey. I don't like Drew Gulak, and I just don't see the point in this whole Hank Walker guy, this failed referee turning wrestler gimmick. That sucks too, so everyone involved in this absolutely sucks. We get JC Jane versus Indy Hartwell. JC Jane is in control of the match, and then Gigi Dolan comes out, attacks her, hits a big boot, hits a spear. Crowd are going crazy. Well, I wouldn't say crazy, but there's a couple of people in the crowd that are cheering for this. And the referee calls the match. JC Jane gets the DQ win. And I'm sure we'll get JC Jane versus Gigi Dolan down the line. I personally wouldn't have broken the two of them up. I think they should have kept Toxic Attraction. Maybe add a third member, or maybe just have them be a duo. Now they've split them up. There's so fucking many women already on the NXT roster, and now you've got another 2 single women, you know, being added. It just there's just not enough teams for a tag team division, and there's like too many women for a singles division. So now they've got another 2. I think they should have kept them together, or even called them up to the main roster. There literally is no tag teams on the main roster. Why not bring up Toxic Attraction? I don't get it. Mandy Rose has kind of screwed these 2 over, I think. Now, people are going to argue that, you know, it's not Mandy Rose's fault and that WWE fired Mandy, so they screwed Mandy and they screwed Jacy Jane and Gigi Dolan, but not really. I mean, at the end of the day, when she lost her title, when she got kicked out, it's kind of just left Toxic Attraction up in the air. So, yeah, Mandy's kind of fucked over this entire group, and now Jane and Gigi Dolan are going to have to go in their, you know, respective singles career, and I wouldn't be surprised if these careers go absolutely nowhere. So I would have personally kept them together, but nah, they're now individuals, and I'm sure they'll be having a match either at Roadblock. If not Roadblock, then it'll probably be at Stand and Deliver. I mean, let's be honest. They've played a big part of NXT over the past year. I think they probably are worthy of having a match at the big NXT pay-per-view, but we'll see. Roadblock looks more likely to be the destination. What else do we get? We get Gallus walking backstage. Fuck Gallus. Gallus take on Idris Enofe and Malik Blyde. Gallus get an easy win. Then 2 guys come out with a cake. They say this cake is to celebrate the anniversary of Gallus, but it's not Gallus being champ. It's Pretty Deadly defeating Gallus in NXT UK 2 years ago. So the Gallus boys, they throw the cake into the lackey's face, and then Pretty Deadly come out with some weapons, some chairs, some steel steps, and they beat up Gallus and Pretty Deadly. The 2 gay boys actually beat up what do you call them? They beat up Gallus. So England go over the Scots here, and I guess Pretty Deadly want to get themselves a rematch for the NXT tag titles, and I guess they've done a pretty good job of doing that by beating up Gallus here. So who knows? What will be Pretty Deadly versus Gallus? Both of these teams though are kind of heels, so I don't know who's going to be the face, or if they're going to add another team in, or I don't know what's going to happen. But I just don't really like Gallus, and I don't really see any of these teams getting called up to the main roster anytime soon. Then we get a vignette from Daba Kako, the former, you know, the guy that managed Apollo Crews, the big dude. He says that Apollo Crews may have brought him into this world, but he's going to be the one who takes Apollo out. So he's not happy that Apollo Crews has been having all these visions. Apollo Crews has been looking into the future, but forgetting about his past. And Katko says he was the one that helped Crews win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, and he was the one that was there for every big moment Apollo Crews had. So I did feel like, I mean, I've been enjoying what they're doing with Crews and NXT, but I do feel like they pulled the plug on that whole Nigerian gimmick way too soon. That did seem to be working, you know, him coming out, oh, I'm Nigerian tribal family and all this. Maybe it was too similar to the tribal chief. Maybe as soon as he mentioned like tribal or like Nigerian family, they thought, oh crap, no, only Roman Reigns can hold the WWE hostage with a title for 3 years. We need to get the belt off this guy. Maybe that's what they were thinking. I don't know, but I like Apollo Crews, so we'll see what happens with Apollo Crews. Then we got Tony D versus Von Fagner. Tony D defeats Von Fagner. It is what it is. The match wasn't great, but Tony D wins, and he wins pretty easy. Then we go to Stevie Turner. Her stream is starting. She says she's excited about Stand and Deliver. She introduces her new randomizer. Then it goes through all the NXT women randomly, and it lands on Lyra Valkyrie. She says the fans want to get their questions ready for Lyra. She says Lyra is a mystery, but no match for Stevie's fast fingers. She takes on the Stevie chats from the fans. They're asking questions about Lyra. One asks how far Lyra's going to go in NXT, and Stevie says that she's talented, but she's no match for Stevie's forward thinking, and as soon as she comes up against her. Basically, that's when her career is going to come to an end. And then Fick wants to ask a question, but Stevie says, no, sorry, you're too late, the stream's over. This must have been the shortest stream in history. It lasted like 30 fucking seconds. So, what was the entire point of streaming? Why would she come online? Why would she start up a stream if it's only going to last like 45 seconds? And Fick Joseph doesn't even get a question in. Bit lame, if you ask me. But whatever. Anyway, what do we have after this? We have Tony D. He's got Stacks. He appreciates Stacks for being loyal. Stacks had a chance last week to enter the tournament. He entered the North American title match, but he decided to help Tony. So Stacks showed some loyalty. Then Tony D challenges D-Jack. He says that this has to end. He could have made him disappear, but he's going to decide it. He's going to do it in the ring. So he wants to challenge him to a solitary confinement match, or and then it says something about a jailhouse street fight. So yeah, that's what we're getting at NXT Roadblock. Tony D versus D-Jack one more time. Then we get Nikita Lyons backstage talking about her injury. She said her surgery was a success, but she's going to be out for quite a while. Quite a long time. So she says her goal is to be back before 1 year. Then Tiffany Stratton interrupts and wonders why everyone is talking about Leon's and not herself. Leon's kind of then says, maybe you're the one that took me out, and Tiffany Stratton says that attacking Leon's in a car park is at the bottom of her list. And then she says, no wait, it's below my list. And then she says toodles and walks off. I like Tiffany Stratton. I think she probably should be the next champion. I think she will be the next champion. I wouldn't be surprised if she is the person that beats Roxanne Perez. Then we got Ivy Nile versus Alba Fire. Didn't really enjoy this, but whatever. Alba Fire gets an easy win. Is what it is. Then we got Hayes and Bates talking backstage, and it looks like they could be having a match in the future, but nothing really materialised. Then we move into, before we get to the main event, we have Wesley. He's backstage again. He says that he gives it up to Von Fagner for bringing it to him last week. And then Mackenzie Mitchell asks Wesley what is next for him at Roadblock and Stand and Deliver, and Lee says that he knows these fans love open challenges, so he's going to give them another one next week, and it's going to be Wesley and another open challenge for the NXT North American Championship next week. Mackenzie says, why does he keep doing these things? It's putting him at a disadvantage. And then Wesley says that's just the kind of man that he is. So I guess we'll see next week. Wesley defending his NXT North American Championship again in open challenge. So interested. And then we move on to the main event. Jinder Mahal and Braun Breaker. Jinder Mahal comes out with his wee Indian lackeys. Not Fear Mahan or Fear Mahal, whatever the fuck he's called. Fear and the other guy. Fear and the big dude, Sagna. Two guys that are bums. Honestly, why did that Fear guy honestly get pushed on Raw? What a waste of a year that was. Fear. The Fear! I mean, they waited like 6 months to debut him just so he could have 2 matches and then piss off for 4 months and then turn up on NXT. What a waste of time. I'm surprised he's not been released yet, but he's not been released. Anyway, they get involved, and then the Creed brothers come out. They take them to the back. The 4 people start brawling, and it leaves Mahal on his own with Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker then hits his big move, hits the spear, and that's it. So there you go. Braun Breaker beats Jinder Mahal. Very predictable. Braun Breaker retains the title as we approach Stand and Deliver. We have Carmelo Hayes looking on. I know Carmelo Hayes is probably going to be the next challenger, but at this rate, I wonder if they're going to have Carmelo Hayes quickly challenge him at Roadblock and then get a new challenger in, or is Carmelo Hayes going to be the challenger into Stand and Deliver? I don't know. I mean, it would feel like they would do Carmelo Hayes dirty if they literally just have him pop in so he can lose at Roadblock and then get a different challenger for the main pay-per-view at Stand and Deliver, but I don't know. At this moment, it doesn't look like there's anybody else that really wants to challenge Braun Breaker apart from Carmelo Hayes. So we'll see. And then Grayson Waller, the network comes on, so Braun Breaker's celebrating. The WWE Network comes on the Titantron. Turns out that Grayson Waller is in production. He's saying that, oh, he's doing his own little DX here. He's taking over the production truck. He's messing things about. He's abusing, he's bullying the people in the production truck. He says that he's taking a play out of the DX playbook. He says because he is the main event now, he's the new showstopper. He says if Michaels is Mr. WrestleMania, then he is Mr. Stand and Deliver. And Waller at Stand and Deliver is going to steal the show. He says that no one's holding him back anymore, not even Michaels, because he says at NXT Roadblock in 2 weeks, he's going to have a special episode of the Grayson Waller Effect, and it's going to feature the Heartbreak Kid. And he says, Shawn Michaels, whatever he wants to say to him, he can say it to me face to face. And he bullies some more production workers, knocks over the camera, and then he tells them to end the show because it's his show and they're going to do what he wants. And that's how NXT goes off the air. So, I mean, I did enjoy the ending. Grayson Waller, I think, is good. This guy kind of reminds me... He reminds me of he reminds me of a more talented Miz. I think that's what I would say Grayson Waller is. He's like a more talented Miz, and that's no disrespect to the Miz, but I do believe that Grayson Waller over the next 10 years will kind of have that Miz role, but I think Grayson Waller will be pushed even more than the Miz. I think Grayson Waller will be held to a higher, pedestal than the Miz or whatever. So I like Waller. The ending was good. But apart from that, I mean, the rest of the show wasn't good. That's the problem. The rest of the show kind of sucked. I mean, we did have Braun Breaker versus Jinder Mahal. That was alright. But, I mean, overall, the show wasn't great. I'm going to go ahead and give this NXT, I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I didn't think it was that good, guys. I kind of did enjoy the ending, but overall, the rest of the show kind of sucked. Main event was decent as well, so yeah, 2 out of 10, guys. That's it. Let us know what you think down below, and we'll see NXT Roadblock in 2 weeks. That's it. Till next time. Peace.